Agora files for a U.S. national trust bank charter, aiming to give AUSD a direct federal foothold. The filing could reduce dependence on third-party banks, but the real test is whether the OCC approves a stablecoin issuer's U.S. charter path. The confirmed event is that Agora Finance filed with the Office of the Controller of the Currency for a national trust bank charter under Agora National Trust Bank. The reason this belongs in a crypto news read is that stablecoin issuers want direct access to regulated U.S. infrastructure as federal rules and institutional demand converge. The opening pressure point is Agora seeks a federal trust charter against stablecoin scale needs approval. The first confirmed detail is Agora filed for a national trust charter, and the immediate reason to care is that the filing uses Agora National Trust Bank. That means the viewer should track OCC decision and charter scope instead of treating the first reaction as the whole story. The confirmed context is the anchor. The confirmed baseline is an OCC application tied to digital asset custody, investment advisory, and stablecoin issuance services. Agora currently holds a Bermuda license and wants a U.S. federal framework for domestic scaling. It gives the story its boundaries, which is especially important when the market starts filling gaps with assumptions. The two facts that set the baseline are clear. Services include custody and issuance, and a Bermuda license supports current operations. That frame keeps OCC filing names custody and issuance connected to the actual consequence rather than floating as an isolated statistic. Most people arrive after the move is obvious and the easy upside is gone. We focus on serious crypto education and high-quality signals before the crowd rushes in, so you can understand the setup earlier and move sooner. If you want that edge, visit the link below now. Agora files only make sense once the mechanism is clear. The mechanism is chartered infrastructure. A national trust bank charter can move key services under a unified federal regulatory layer. That could reduce reliance on partner institutions and improve credibility with enterprise payment users. That mechanism explains why the event can create consequences beyond the first reaction. In practice, a charter can reduce bank dependence is the hinge between the confirmed event and the next market or user response. The mechanism split is simple. A charter can reduce partner reliance, while federal oversight can aid enterprise trust. If that hinge fails, the strongest title-level claim loses force even if the story keeps attracting attention. The practical effect is not evenly spread. AUSD users, enterprise payment clients, U.S. regulators, bank partners, and stablecoin competitors are affected. The practical consequence is a possible shift from offshore-enabled growth toward direct U.S.-regulated operations. Approval would not make Agora a traditional bank, but it could strengthen custody and issuance infrastructure. The useful boundary is that OST could gain U.S. infrastructure, while approval conditions are unknown. The impact split is OST targets payments and business use, and U.S. access depends on approval. That keeps the impact focused on the people, markets, or systems actually named in the evidence. The open question is still part of the story. What remains unclear is whether the OCC approves the charter and what conditions it attaches. That does not prove that filing an application equals regulatory approval. The evidence would be stronger with OCC approval, conditions, and service scope would clarify Agora's U.S. path. This is the line between analysis and speculation. The unresolved split is an application is not approval, and OCC conditions can shape the model. The story can stay important while approval conditions are unknown remains unresolved, but the stronger claim needs visible proof. Most people arrive after the move is obvious and the easy upside is gone. We focus on serious crypto education and high-quality signals before the crowd rushes in, so you can understand the setup earlier and move sooner. If you want that edge, visit the link below now. The next useful signal is specific. Watch the OCC decision, charter conditions, and whether AUSD U.S. services expand after review. If the OCC grants approval or outlines conditions, the story shifts from application filed into regulatory review. For Agora files, the next move should be judged by that signal. The trigger split is the OCC decision is the next trigger, and service scope will show the real reach. If that trigger does not arrive, the story may stay in application filed longer than early attention suggests. If it does arrive, regulatory review becomes easier to evaluate with facts instead of assumptions.